everyone, this is Rabbit's blog Animation Bliss, and welcome to another Disney Corner. So today's animated movie I'm going to be talking about today for the Disney Corner is The Incredibles. So, The Incredibles was a movie made by Pixar in 2004, and basically what this movie is about is that it's about a family of superheroes. Well, first let's talk about how this film started off. So the film started off with Bob Parr and Helen being superheroes and being able to save the world from, or save their city from a lot of criminal activity. And then sometime in Bob's past, there was this incident where a man wanted to commit suicide, and when Bob tried to save the man from committing suicide, the man ended up suing Bob for trying to save him, even though Bob was just doing his job as a superhero. And this ended up making the government do the Superhero Registration Act, where the supers can no longer save people, or they can no longer show their powers in public. So Bob and Helen are forced to live normal lives of like normal human beings without going out there to save the world using their powers in public. And this takes its toll on Bob, because he wants to be a superhero so badly, even though Helen is okay with not having powers, or well, Helen's okay with not being a superhero because she wants to be a mom, but Bob is not okay with all this because he wants to go back with being the superhero. So one day Bob meets up with this mysterious woman named Mirage, and Mirage starts telling Bob, you could be a superhero again, you just have to work for my employer, Syndrome. And Bob starts doing all these errands, or he starts fighting these robots every time he goes on the island. Like, he goes on the mysterious island where he fights these mysterious robots every time. And as this goes on, Bob becomes happier, but he doesn't tell Helen about all this, so Helen has no idea what Bob is really doing. And then midway through the film, Bob gets kidnapped by Syndrome, and Helen starts to realize that Bob's got kidnapped by Syndrome, and she ends up going to the island where Bob got kidnapped to save Bob. But then her kids Dash and Violet sneak up on board, and they ended up going with Helen, even though Helen told them, don't go with me because I gotta save your dad from the island. But they ended up going anyway. And that's what the movie is midway through, because I don't want to spoil too much about what's going on in this film. But that's pretty much the gist of the movie so far. It's basically Bob gets kidnapped, and Helen and the kids had to go and save him from Syndrome. So what are my thoughts about this movie? Well, I love this movie. This is like my most favorite Pixar movie so far. I haven't seen Inside Out, Toy Story 3 yet, so this is still my most favorite Pixar movie to date, unless I actually start watching Toy Story 3 or Inside Out. Excuse me. So, but what I love so much about this movie is that it's a superhero movie. Like, I'm a huge superhero fan, and this is a movie that really does the superhero tropes right. Like, yeah, it's about the Incredibles, like, trying to save the world and stuff like that, but it's also about like the family dynamics between the characters. Like, we get to see how unhappy Bob is with not being able to be a superhero again, because the government rules out that the supers can no longer use their powers in public, or they can no longer save people, and that's something that Bob doesn't want to happen. But Helen's okay with being a mother, trying to take care of her family, and this causes some strife between Bob and Helen. Like, they're wondering, like, Helen's like trying to tell Bob, you need to take care of your family, and Bob's like, well, I want to be a superhero too. So I like how the film really delved into that. Like, it delved into how Bob's obsession with being a superhero again causes a rift in his family, and how he tries to go and repair all the damage he's done throughout the film, later on through the film. And I like the power sets that each of the Incredibles have. I like the fact that Bob has super strength, Helen has elasticity, Dash has speed, Violet has like Invisible Woman's or Susan Storm's powers, and Jack, well, at the beginning of the film they show he doesn't have any powers, but I don't want to spoil anything if you haven't seen the movie yet. But does Jack have powers? Well, you have to see the end of the movie to find out. But yeah, I like the different power sets that the Incredibles family has, and again, I like the fact that this film focuses on more on the family dynamics between the characters instead of just being all about action. There are lots of good action sequences. Like there's a lot of scenes where the Incredibles are fighting off Syndrome's goons, and I really love those action sequences. They're very well animated. But what I really loved about this movie was about getting into the core of the family dynamics of the characters, and how Bob's obsession with being a superhero almost hurt his family, and how he's struggling to like raise a family but still wants to be a superhero at the same time. So I like how the film like tackles that issue of Bob wanting to be a superhero, but you know he also wants to be a dad too. So that's something I really loved about The Incredibles. Was there anything wrong with this movie? Well, I don't really have much of an issue with this movie, except maybe the pacing at the beginning was a little slow. But other than that, I thought this movie was perfect. Like I thought all the action sequences were very well done. I love the themes that was being brought out to the film. I like how the characters were being portrayed. I especially love how Helen tries to take charge after Bob gets kidnapped, and how she's trying to tell the kids, you know, this is not like cartoon, not like, this is like one of my most favorite lines in the movie is like Helen trying to explain to her kids, you know, this is not like cartoons where the bad guys get beaten, you know, these are people who will actually hurt you if you give them the chance to, so you have to do everything you can to protect them, but, you know, this is a dangerous world we're living in, and it's not like in the cartoons or comics or whatever, where the good guys always win, or the good guys don't come out of this unharmed. I really like that subtext that Helen gives to the kids, because it is true in real life, and it offers a sense of reality to this movie that hasn't been shown. That's sometimes shown in superhero movies. Like if I were to say that comment now, you know, especially when you see a lot of superhero movies nowadays that actually try to tackle reality. But anyway, that was my favorite line in the movie, and I like how they addressed that, the fact that, you know, just because they're superheroes doesn't mean they can't get hurt. But that's what I loved about The Incredibles, is how they tackle the themes of family and the themes of being a superhero, and the action sequences were very well done, the animation was very well done, all the characters were very well written, and this is easily one of my most favorite Pixar movies to date. Again, I haven't seen Toy Story 3 or Inside Out yet, so that might change if I see those movies. But that's pretty much my review on The Incredibles. And would I recommend this movie? Yes, I highly recommend this movie, especially if you're a huge Pixar fan, or you're a huge fan of superhero movies in general. This is like one of the best superhero movies I can recommend, so I definitely would check out The Incredibles whenever you get the chance to. So that's my review on The Incredibles, and be sure to follow us on Twitter so we keep you updated any new videos we post up, and also like our Facebook page. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is Rabdi's blog and Animation Bliss, and I'll see you later.